Earlier this summer, we visited Donegal for the dual Donegal International Rally. With the National Rally also running under the umbrella of the three-day event, we vowed to return with some of the great action from the modified classes that we simply couldn't fit into the programme the first time around. So join us as we revisit some of the best stages Ireland has to offer for some full-on modified action.
Welcome to Donegal. The Modified Championship has a strong entry this weekend, which means competition will be tough.
Friday morning and the crews are ready to go, with some of the top drivers from Ireland and overseas eager to start new battles and settle old scores.
Yeah, well, of course, my first event in the Escort last year was this rally, so, we'd like to come back and improve on our fourth overall result last year. So, yeah, it's a long, hard event, but we'll be trying as hard as we can.
Why is it so special? Why is it such a challenge?
Well, it's 3 days in the hills of Donegal. There's nothing more challenging than that, especially in a Mark II Escort. It's one of them rallies, you do it every year and you think never again, never again, never again. But as soon as there comes any kind of a buzz about Donegal, you're back on the entry list, hopefully.
It's very hard to know what will happen here. This is its own rally within a rally, and maybe it doesn't get the recognition that it probably should get in relation to some of the front runners and that there, but anybody that's in any individual class, right on back to car number 150, is competing hard. And no matter if you get into a little bit Honda Civic, a little bit 1600 car, 2 litre car, 2.5 car, the competition is high, the competition is tough here.
As I say, they're all the big hitters, and they all come fighting top level for Donegal. It brings the best of everybody that lands here, and it'll be good fun.
It's 25 years since James Cullen won his home event for the first time. And this weekend, James will be seeded number 25 in a Mark II Escort to commemorate the anniversary of his achievement. It's fair to say, James, you're a veteran of this event. Driver, co-driver, running the event. You know it back to front. What's the plan this weekend, though?
The plan this weekend is for all the guys that made this happen, if I can manage to get this car to the finish ramp on Sunday. This is like a trip down memory lane for all the guys of our generation. And if we get there on Sunday, it gives us another 10 years to talk about it. And then that's us well finished.
The wait is finally over, and as the modified crews leave rally headquarters in Letterkenny, let's take a look at where our crews will be heading on day one. With cloudy skies, the action takes place over 3 stages which are run twice: Trenta, Letterleague and Corradui, the longest of which is Letterleague at just over 14 kilometres. Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan charged through the opening 2 stages to take the lead, but their massive pace would come to an end on stage 3.
Mid-lower top bridge after us. We're mid-lower top bridge here. All right, Hammer. You okay? I'm all right.
Local man and Donegal Motor Club chairman Brian Brogan then took hold of the lead, setting the fastest time on stage 3. After the second run through the stages, his lead was 7.1 seconds. Fellow local Damien Tourish was not far off the pace at the front after a strong drive in his less powerful 2-litre Escort. He was second after 6 stages.
41 left past the sheds, 3 right opens over small crest, 40 and a 2 left, 60 over the crest, 200, and a 2 left, tightens past the fancy wall to a 3 left up the hill, 40 and a flat left, 150 over the crest, and brake on the crest for only 20 for turning 6 left.
Less than 2 seconds adrift of Tourish was the Toyota Starlet of Declan Gallagher, with James McNulty on the notes. As ever, the Starlet was a joy to watch on the stages. Jonathan Pringle and Alan Keener were also very much on pace and in touch with the lead. Less than half a second separated Pringle and Gallagher. It was a great battle. A further 13.8 seconds further back was Letterkenny's Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh. Scottish driver David Bogie had Monaghan's Enda Sherry on navigation duties, and the pair were bedding in nicely, holding 6th overall. It couldn't be closer between Bogie and Frank Kelly. Just 1/10 of a second separated the two in what was turning out to be an epic duel on the Donegal stages. Originally from Monaghan but working in the US, Richard Moffat made the trip home for Donegal and was spectacular to watch as he held 8th overall in his first drive in the 2.5 litre Starlet. Stephen McCann was 9th overall and leading Class 15 in his Subaru Impreza. Rounding out the national top 10 was Conor Curley in his 2 litre Mark II. In the 1600 Class 11R Corolla, Brendan Friel made the trip back from London to lead the way across his home stages. More London-based locals home for the rally were the McGettigan brothers Kyle and Dale, who held 2nd in class, just 2.6 seconds behind Friel. 3rd in class was the escort of Letterkenny crew Liam Doherty and Dermot McGettigan. We have been treated to an opening day filled with fine battles and great action across almost every class, and we have 2 more days to go. Day 2 is taken up with 4 stages all run twice. Knockalla kicks us off, followed by Garrigort. Carnhill and Garden will run in the afternoon. The flowing curves of Knockalla draw the crowds and delight the drivers. This stage is known worldwide, and some of the most famous names in rallying have tackled the tarmac here. The modified category was hotly contested on day 1, and everyone hoped for more of the same on the second day. Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan began the day as leaders, but as soon as they started Knockalla, they knew there was something wrong. Damien, there's a lot of work going on with the car right now. We noticed you dropped right down the standings. What happened?
At the start of Knockalla, we're ready to go. I was just after speaking to you and started the stage, and car stuck in 2nd gear and we dropped 13 minutes. But boys are changing the box now just as a precaution, and we're going to go out and enjoy it.
Jonathan Pringle inherited the lead but lost it on stage 9 after an off-road excursion, losing 3 minutes. You can see the foliage in Pringle's car from his earlier off here. He dropped to 19th overall. Damien Tourish then took the lead, but it was all still mightily close, with David Bogie and Enda Sherry just 8 seconds behind.
16 right into a 3 right jump over the bridge. Go 100. Long 2 left, okay. Mid over a crest jump. 350. Up. A 1 right. Minus 120 and a flat left.
A rejuvenated Bogie was punching in the times on day 2. Frank Kelly was also on form, setting the fastest time on the second run of Knockalla to climb up to 3rd in Baby Blue.
170 now, go brother, go brother, go! Open hairpin left, open hairpin left, it opens into a 1 left, that continues for 100. Open hairpin left, that continues for 100.
Declan Gallagher and James McNulty dropped from 3rd to 6th with a throttle issue on stage 8. Now into 4th overall with Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh, just 1.9 seconds behind Frank Kelly. On his Donegal debut, Cavan's Gary Kiernan had been knocking on the door of the top 10 before mechanical trouble on stage 8 knocked the wind out of his sails.
Gary, your first time here at the Donegal Rally, but things aren't going too well.
No, we were 2nd in the class there, but we bust a shock and lost 3 minutes. There was plenty of smoke out of the back of the car. We thought we had a fire, so we pulled in. So we had spare shocks there, so we keep working away, see can we get up further now.
Ninth after day one, fellow cabin man Stephen McCann was definitely on the move as he and navigator Damien Fleming climbed to 5th overall in the Subaru. Putting pressure on McCann for the Class 15 lead, Frank Ray was up to 8th overall, with navigator Joe McNulty. Leading Class 20 was Monaghan crew Michael Carbin and Dara Kelly in a Mitsubishi Evo 4. Just 1 second behind was the Evo 9 of Cork crew Jason McSweeney and Dennis O'Mahony. With some work to do to catch the Class 20 frontrunners were Pat Kirk and John McElhinney in a Mitsubishi Evo 10. It's always worthwhile waiting for some of the later seeded crews down the running order, and there were whoops of delight from the crowds of Nogala as Patrick Boyle flung his already battered Corolla around the bends.
We had a good run in Nogala now. The car was hard to get the front down, but thanks to Reading Motorsport and the boys, when we got back into the service, they stiffened it up on the back, and it's been a bit more enjoyable and easier kept on the road since.
Winning even more fans was the escort of Gary McElhinney.
Gary, you left a little bit of rubber here in Knockgalla yesterday.
I destroyed 2 Michelin's on the way up at the hairpin. It was good. A big crowd there, and we kind of lost the run of ourselves a wee bit, but it was a good crack.
Day 2 saw the historic cars join the fray, and after 4 stages it was Seamus O'Connell and Sean McGee who led the class, opening out a 16-second lead on the Vauxhall Chevette of Andy Johnston and Jim McSherry. A further 16 seconds adrift in third was the escort of Frank Cunningham, who made the trip home from the US just for the rally. Making the shorter trip over from Scotland was Jim McRae. Winner here in 1980, Jimmy was back, this time with navigator Pauline Gillick and a Vauxhall Forenza.
Everybody wants to come to Donegal, and it's a long time since I've been here, but I'm glad I came.
We were watching the cars as they were going up through Knockgalla this morning, and one thing you could really see on the hillsides was a Scottish flag. It must be good to see that.
I saw that, yeah, but I didn't get time to flash the lights. I was concentrating too hard.
Opening day for you guys now here in Donegal. How's it gone so far?
It's going not too bad. First stage we clipped a ditch and got a back rear puncture. We lost maybe over 30 seconds and all, had to limp through it. But all in all, not too bad now. We got one good stage done there, so happy enough. Pulled back about a time and everything seems to be okay.
So at the halfway point of the rally, it's Damien Tourish who leads on his home event.
Join us after the break as the challenge of the dual Donegal International Rally continues.
Welcome back to the dual Donegal National Rally. And after a rollercoaster ride of drama and emotion so far, it's local man Damien Tourish who leads, with Scotsman David Bogie just 6 seconds behind in second. Frank Kelly is third in a top 3 dominated by escorts. And this is what they're all battling for. The newly commissioned Den Motorsport Mark II trophy, the top escort crew home, has added a little extra incentive, as if there were any needed. There are plenty of people out on the stages this weekend, as you would well imagine, including some competitors who are getting ready for competition themselves on Sunday in the junior category. Championship leader Justin Ryan and rival Noel Murphy. Back to today's action then, and the first run over the afternoon stages saw a new leader as Frank Kelly's all-out attack gathered pace.
Very fast, one right to dip, into 2 right 170. Very fast, one right to dip, into 2 right 170. 170 chicane. Kelly, 40. 2 right, 40, 2 right, 40.
He and navigator Michael Cody led by 9 seconds after stage 14.
130 chicane, I haven't marked. You're mad. 130 chicane.
Second to Kelly and Cody was the escort of David Bogie and Enda Sherry, who would definitely not be daunted by a 9-second overnight deficit. Now up to third overall was top local crew Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh. The 2.5 litre machines were coming into their own now, and former leader Damien Tourish had slipped to fourth place in his 2 litre Class 13 Escort. Declan Gallagher was up to 5th overall and back on the pace again after earlier throttle trouble in the Starlet. Stephen McCann had been 5th, but the cabin man damaged the radiator on his Subaru Impreza on stage 14 and sadly had to retire. With an Escort modelled on the one in which his father Vincent won Donegal in 1983, John Bonner was having less luck on this year's rally.
John, you had a problem on the first stage this morning.
Yeah, just when we came off the big wide bit of road in Knockalla, we went through the twisty bit, you know, and it's pretty fast, and there was another car was off and he had a stone pulled out. And we hit the stone, and on the next right-hander, the car went round the road and we hit a wall. We just stop and change the puncture, but we're still here. We lost about 4 minutes maybe, but one of them things.
Let's see what the crews will do battle then on the final day of Donegal. 3 stages make up the day, but these aren't just any stages. Is there anything comparable with the jaw-dropping Atlantic Drive or the sheer speed of Thanet Head? The crews kick off with High Glen. Sadly, the weather had taken a dramatic turn for the worse, with torrential rain making the challenging stages even more difficult. Never one to shirk a challenge, David Bogey was confident in the wet and strode ahead of Kelly and into the lead after the first run on the stages. Frank Kelly was the overnight leader but failed to match pace with Bogey on the opening tests. And there was a reason for that. A diff problem was discovered. Frank shifted back to second, 21 down from Bogey, but he wasn't giving up.
We're incredibly lucky to get back here. It was winding us brains out coming down the road, and we were freewheeling as much as we could. There's streams of water running across the road. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. But listen, we'll go out there and we'll see what we can do. 3 very difficult stages to go, so looking around it seems to be brightening up now, so what tyre choice we go for we're still not sure, but you know, it's good. Very, very difficult. Some of the most difficult conditions I've ever driven in, so that coupled with 300 horsepower does not make it easy, but hey, loving it every minute all the same.
Let's wind things back a little bit for a moment. This is Gerard Wilson, a rally photographer from Trinidad, helping out at the driver's briefing on Friday morning. But what brings Gerard from sunny Trinidad to take photos in the rain?
You made a long journey all the way from Trinidad, and why is that?
Well, Frank Kelly and I have gone back 2 years, and we decided to repay him a favour and visit his homeland for once. And when asked which event we should cover, it was no question that Donegal was the one to come to. So that's why we're here, and we're here to bring Ireland rallying back to the Caribbean and show the Caribbean folks how the Irish do it.
Donegal always proves a popular destination for overseas visitors, and here are just some of the crews that made the trip over to contest the rally, come rain or shine. OK, it's time for the class winners now. In Class 9, Barry McGill and Derek Keener grabbed the win. Shane McLaughlin and Fiona Devlin are Class 10 winners in their Mark II Escort. John O'Sullivan and JJ Kremin complete Donegal second in Class 11F. With Donald Kelly and Shane Byrne taking the class win by 34 seconds. In Class 11R, Liam Doherty and Dermot McGettigan take victory. Vincent Collins and Finton Kilroe won Class 12 with a margin of 1:30. In Class 14, the legendary James Cullen was fourth after a nostalgic return to Donegal 25 years after his international win.
And K left tight long, into fast K right, 30. Turn 90 left. 90 left now, steady on it. 30.
John Reddington and Paddy McCrudden were third in class. With modified championship leader Davey Armstrong and Martin McGarity taking second. Class winner in the Toyota Starlet were Richard Moffat and Martin Connolly. Class 17 winners in their Honda Civic were Michael and Desi Nutt. Third in Class 20 after a weekend of adapting to his Evo 10 was Pat Kirk. Michael Carbin and Dara Kelly took second in class. And the Class 20 win went to Jason McSweeney and Dennis O'Mahony. In the junior category, Kevin and Stephen Horgan took maximum championship points in 5th overall. Sean Herity and Gary Lockhart took 4th in their Toyota Corolla. Jonathan Traynor and Stephen McElroy were in podium place in 3rd, with early leader Paul Creamer and Patrick Durning taking 2nd. But winners at their home event were Michael Boyle and Dermot McCafferty.
It was just a weekend full of ups and downs, you know, from my father leading the rally and going out then, and it put my mood just bad from the rally. I didn't even really want to do it myself, but I just went for it then, and I'm more so just happy now, and hopefully give him a bit of a lift, and only for him I wouldn't be where I am today, so I'm just over the moon.
Nice words there from Boyle as we take a look at the historic class now. Taking a great points haul here were Andy Johnson and Jim McSherry. Championship leader Frank Cunningham adding to his points haul of the season so far with 2nd. And taking the historic win was Seamus O'Connell and Sean McGee. In the national top 10, things kick off with Gary Kiernan and Niall Tierney in 10th. Patrick Boyle and Donald McCall took their Toyota Corolla to 9th overall. David Moffat and Johnny Baird in the Starlet were 8th, just 2.4 seconds behind Patrick McHugh and Porrick O'Donnell in 7th. Frank Ray and Joe McNulty in their Subaru WRC finish up in 6th. There were a few glitches along the way, but it was great to see Declan Gallagher and James McNulty back to doing what they do best. They took 5th overall. Damien Tourish and Donald McElhenney had shown great pace throughout the weekend. They finished 4th, 12.9 seconds off the podium. Into the top 3 now then, and Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh take the honours for 3rd. Frank Kelly and Michael Cody had led at the end of day 2, but lost out on the final day. But as ever, they put on a great display and picked up their first championship points of the season. Taking the modified win with a 21-second lead with David Bogie and Enda Sherry. A great result from the Scotsman who loves the rally here in Donegal.
Frank made it very, very difficult for us, and it never backed off. So, you know, I've been pushing as hard as I could from the first corner to the last, so I really have worked for it.
There we go.
And there's the confirmation of the final result here at the Jewel Donegal National Rally.
As ever, the modified category has been hotly contested here in Donegal, with a thrilling battle to the end.
It's fair to say that the 2016 edition of this event has been an absolute classic. A roller coaster ride of emotions over the epic stages of Donegal. Until next time, it's bye for now.